were together, and there was a cake, a wedding cake by our section, but it was a small wedding cake. I just assumed that there was a wedding cake for each section in the back. So after a few hours, and they haven't cut their wedding cake yet. And after a few hours, Steve said he was going to leave, and I said, "Oh, wait, maybe I'd had a cocktail. I don't know." So I said, "Oh, Steve, you can't leave." I had a fork in my hand. "You can't leave yet without a piece of wedding cake." And I cut the wedding cake one side, cut it the other, and then all the people in our group screamed, "Marty!" It was the
fairy
wedding.
Tales exist only in movies. Think again. For months, rumors swirled about Selena Gomez's secret romance and whispers of a wedding that would put every Hollywood nuptial to shame. But when the big day finally arrived, nothing could have prepared the world, or Selena herself, for what was about to unfold. In a night marked by chaos, courage, and a string of unbelievable events, Selena's wedding very nearly turned into a Hollywood disaster. Yet, in true Gomez style, the star and her guests proved that not even catastrophe can keep a good love story down. It began as the kind of event most only dream of: a sun-drenched vineyard tucked away in the rolling hills of Napa Valley, California, where privacy was paramount and every detail was meticulously planned. Selena, known for her luminous beauty and magnetic presence, wanted a day that was both intimate and spectacular. Invitations were closely guarded, the guest list limited to family, closest friends, and a handful of A-listers sworn to secrecy. Taylor Swift, Francia Raisa, and the cast of Only Murders in the Building were all reportedly in attendance. Paparazzi were kept at bay by a security detail rivaling that of a presidential campaign, and guests were even required to surrender their phones at the entrance to preserve the event's secrecy. But in the world of celebrity, the unexpected is always lurking. Just as the ceremony was about to begin, with Selena and her fiancé standing before an altar adorned with gardenias and twinkling fairy lights, a commotion erupted near the catering tent. Guests turned to see a figure in chef's whites sprinting toward the main gathering, bouquet in hand and shouting Selena's name. Security raced to intercept, but not before the intruder, later identified as a notorious superfan whose social media obsessions had alarmed even Selena's management, made it within yards of the bride. Eyewitnesses described the moment as utter pandemonium. One guest recounted, "People were screaming, chairs toppled over, and for a split second, it looked like the whole ceremony would be called off." Selena looked absolutely terrified, with the drama barely contained and the superfan escorted off the property. The ceremony tried to regain its composure. The sun, which had been shining only moments before, suddenly disappeared behind thunderheads. Within minutes, sheets of rain began to pour, lightning crackling overhead and sending guests scrambling for cover. The vineyard staff, prepared for every contingency except an actual flood, rushed to move chairs, flowers, and the entire bridal party into a hastily prepared bar nearby. Bridesmaids clung to Selena's dress, shielding her from the rain as her hair and makeup team worked furiously to keep her looking radiant. A source close to the wedding described the scene as something out of a disaster movie, but with better clothes. As if the night hadn't delivered enough jaw-dropping moments, the most critical mishap occurred right at the altar. In the chaos of relocating indoors, the best man, hands shaking from nerves, fumbled Selena's wedding ring. The tiny diamond-studded band rolled across the wooden floor, teetered at the edge of a floorboard crack, and threatened to disappear forever. What happened next could only happen at a wedding attended by music royalty. Taylor Swift, who had been standing nearby, dove forward in a split-second reflex, snatching the ring just before it slipped through the gap. The room erupted in applause, laughter, and a few relieved tears. Throughout it all, Selena remained the picture of grace under fire. As guests settled into their seats, she took the microphone, dress a little damp, hair a bit tousled, but her smile undiminished. "I always said I wanted a wedding to remember," she joked, drawing laughter and applause. "I just didn't realize it would be for so many reasons." Her fiancé, equally poised, added, "If we can get through this, we can get through anything." The sincerity in his voice turned the room from anxious laughter to heartfelt cheers. Once the vows were exchanged and the rings finally found their rightful fingers, the mood shifted. The storm outside only made the barn feel cozier. And as the band struck up Selena's favorite songs, guests hit the dance floor in full force. Stories circulated of famous faces. Steve Martin teaching guests to two-step, Martin Short leading a conga line, and Taylor Swift serenading the newlyweds with an acoustic rendition of their favorite ballad. The food was plentiful, the wine flowed, and by the end of the night, the chaos of earlier felt like a distant memory. Selena's mother gave a moving toast, recalling the challenges her daughter had faced in life and love, and expressing her joy at seeing Selena so happy. In the days that followed, rumors swirled about the night's events, but those who were there spoke only of Selena's bravery and the love that filled the room. One guest summed it up: "It was the most dramatic wedding I've ever seen, but it was also the most beautiful." In the end, nothing could ruin Selena's day, because she didn't let anything ruin her spirit. Selena herself later posted a photo from the reception, her arms around her new spouse, the two of them laughing in the candlelight. The caption was simple: "Best night ever." True to her reputation, Selena Gomez turned what could have been a night of disaster into one of triumph. Her wedding may have flirted with catastrophe, but it ended as a testament to love, resilience, and the power of laughter in the face of chaos. For her fans, and for anyone who's ever dreamed of a fairy tale ending, no matter how messy the middle, Selena's unforgettable wedding proved that sometimes the most perfect moments are the ones you could never have planned. This article is a work of fiction for entertainment purposes. As of June 2024, Selena Gomez has not had a public wedding.
Look at her. Oh my god.
I'm so happy.
Oh my god.
She looks so good. Finally.
What?
I love it so much.
You even serious? What?
We'd get up in the morning, we'd have conversation, but our conversation was never led going, what are we going to write in the album? It was very like, this is on my mind, like, what is that? How does that make you feel kind of thing?
Yeah, I felt like your personal journal. I was just constantly like...
Well, you are.
Yeah, I was constantly
For
just
life.
writing whatever you said wherever we were. Sometimes you'd be saying something like really important, and I would like... I didn't know if you even realized, but I would like always open my phone. I'd be like, "That's such a good line for a song."
I did notice, but I also was very like, you know me, I can just like sit there and talk. So it didn't bother me if that's what you're asking.
Yeah.